It doesn't matter how many other messaging apps are out there if all of them suck.
Telegram is the best messaging technology in the market.
We care about freedom.
Cannot make messaging technology secure for everybody except for terrorists.
Pavel Durov's known often as Russia's Mark Zuckerberg because he set up an app called VKontakte, VK, back in the 2010s. He managed to become hugely popular and make billions of dollars through this.
It eventually became the largest social network in Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and a bunch of other post-Soviet countries. So when the Russian opposition started to use VK to organize large protests in Russia, we were requested to ban these communities on VK by the government. I refused.
Durov refused to hand over user data to the Kremlin when he was asked, which meant that he was effectively exiled from Russia for a number of years. With his brother, he set up a privacy-first communications app called Telegram. Telegram is hugely popular and has grown its user base since it started around about a decade ago to nearly 1 billion users worldwide.
Now, Telegram is the 6th largest mobile app in the world. It's the 6th.
It has had a huge role to play in many news events that we've seen over the last few years. It's a huge part of communications for the Russian army as they try to invade Ukraine. Yevgeny Prigozhin, who tried to overtake Vladimir Putin, tried to mount his coup through Telegram. And most recently, for those of us in the UK, we've seen the riots that have engulfed cities around the UK, launched through and communicated via Telegram as well. Many people think of Telegram as really useful because it has encryption involved as well, which is something that until recently apps like WhatsApp didn't necessarily have. Telegram has become hugely popular to activists and people who want to get the word out about issues in authoritarian states, in part because of that secret messaging service that it has.
Telegram has been used by protesters in places like Hong Kong,
Yes.
Belarus, Kazakhstan.
Secret chats are enabled through Telegram, which means that they are encrypted and not able to be snooped on by security services, but something that you have to opt into rather than being on by default. That became the cause célèbre for criminals. Many people started to use that online as a way of trying to avoid getting onto the radar of security services. And that seems to have caused real confusion and concern with French authorities.
They're saying that he was arrested on the basis of an arrest warrant that was issued in connection with Telegram's failure to moderate illegal content and cooperate with law enforcement over drug trafficking, child sexual content and fraud.
Pavel Durov might well have woken up and wondered why him. Durov is a relatively small fish in a pretty big pond. He's not as well known as Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, even though the latter has been as antagonistic towards authorities when they ask to do stuff that he doesn't want to. But actually, Telegram is kind of an egregious operator in this space, more so maybe than Meta and other apps in terms of how it enables the ability for private communications, and some of that could be criminal. Pavel Durov has made it his kind of motto to try and avoid acceding to government and law enforcement requests to hand over data.
You cannot make messaging technology secure for everybody except for terrorists. So it's either secure or not secure.
It's really provoked a debate on social media about the extent to which tech executives, many of whom are very well remunerated, should actually be responsible for the consequences of the apps that they run.